Okay, for us entertainment journalists, I think this month has been the sort where we count कौन सा दिन है जब हम हुमा से नहीं मिले हैं क्योंकि किसी ना किसी it's a good problem किसी किसी की show की promotion चल रही है. And Huma, I've asked you this earlier, and in fact so many of you have in your interviews spoken about, like Shefali, you spoke about how a lot of your life as an actor is about waiting for the right roles. You've spoken about how casting directors said, you know, do younger roles, how can you do this? Rasika and Sayani, both of you have spoken about how you want to push boundaries as an actor, want to feel challenged. And we have such amazing shows which do that, which naturally do that. For women, it's always great, और राजेश जी मुझे ऐसे देख रहे हैं कि when a show is actually headlined by women, it centers around something that affects our lives. How does this change you as a person, as the woman that you are? Because I know shows, films are about entertainment, or you know, they are for the business as well, but it's also a means to bring about change, to probably, you know, set aside some notions, some stereotypes. How do you feel about the kind of work that you guys are doing now, and what can the industry do to make it better?
You can start. Oh, okay. I've always believed that, you know, a lot of conversation can happen through popular culture. And the lasting conversation always actually stems from, you know, whether it's music, it's films, it's shows, whatever. And I think I've always tried to bring and do certain characters, you know, whose politics perhaps aligns with me or what I stand for, or at least, you know, I mean, and it's important to me as a woman, as a person. And when a show like this comes along, which has its politics so clear and so strong, and has had from season 1, 2 onwards, you just want to be part of it. Even if sometimes I've had to play like a negative character, because it's even then it's sort of fueling the conversation, it's fueling the narrative. And I think Delhi Crime is a show that sort of very beautifully navigates and walks that thin line, but where it does not go too documentary style. At the same time, it's not too like, I don't know, filmy. I think it's somewhere in the middle where it's entertaining, yet I think, you know, it sort of makes you feel like you have to speak up or do something about it or have that conversation. And I think and shows like this are so important for what we are trying to, I guess, as women or as people who just believe in some kind of change in society.
Well, in the time that I have worked, I've seen a lot of change happening, and I feel very fortunate to be an actor at a time like this, because I think earlier when especially at the time that the streaming services had come about, and women-centric content had become sort of a thing, and I thought maybe this is just an act of tokenism and it's not really going to go anywhere. But I think I've been pleasantly surprised. I feel like that the intent is correct. There is an attempt to really sort of examine the lives of women rather than sort of just putting...
Also acceptance of various shades instead of just...
And celebrating femininity and not just putting a woman as a central character and making her be masculine. So that is, I don't think that's been the case. There are of course some things like that also, because it's hard to sort of overcome your own references. In fact, I still feel that in many scenes in which we have a woman's body or any intimacy, it's very hard visually to overcome what you're used to seeing. And so therefore to fall into a space of sexualizing something is unfortunately probably the default, which you have to sort of watch yourself on. So I think that it's an interesting space, but is it enough? Absolutely not. You know, so there is room for more, and I hope that it sort of moves in that
like
direction.
Generally in society, is it more acceptable now for women actors to ask questions?
It always was. I don't think.
Yeah, that's not something.
Nobody's ever turned around and. We are also certain kind of women, you know. I mean, all the women sitting
Which
here.
is why I'm saying this. Women who have an opinion.
Different spaces and different sets are different. I mean, I have to say that. It's a very person-to-person, set-to-set kind of a
Pay parity?
Pay parity, I've been told that men get paid more in shows that I have done in the past. But now it also depends on where you are in your career and things like that. But I'm sure there is pay disparity. I mean, it can't not be there. But I completely agree with exactly what Rasika said. The only thing is I still feel that we need more women storytellers. And when women are trying to tell this, you know, make films or shows and things like that, and not just one kind of show. It's not like, you know, oh, you make a women-centric show, that's when you get women directors. No. Because the gaze is, the gaze can be different. You know, the ways to look at characters, the world can be different in many ways. And, you know, it's important that all kinds of people from all walks of life get to tell stories, because that is the representation we need. Not just one kind, because even now when you see the films or shows that come out, they are extremely masculine. You know, they're filled with a lot of violence and, you know, a lot of things. So there is one tonality. Even films, like, they're graded the same way, they're shot the same way, you know, and it's extreme. There is that masculinity there, and I would like to see different kinds of things.
And, you know, I also feel, and we want the world, but at least give us what we feel is our due.
Correct. Absolutely.
Itna to do. The disparity is so big. Okay, there you will give anything. Matlab a chopper, a car, whatever you want.
Chef, trainer, everything.
Everything. And but for an actor, it doesn't. I mean, you know, sadly. So when I come into the position that I have come into, I will ask for these many hours of work. You know what I mean? I'm asking for the things that would rightfully and should have been given to me, but they never came. I never had that option. I never had that option of, you know, having a clean vanity. Or a single vanity. Forget clean vanity. Single vanity. Jahan you can go to the loo, only you're using it. So all these things sadly have come with the positioning. You know, so it's I feel that there is a lot to do with position, that not the position that you deserve, the position that you're seen in.
Correct.
Sadly, it's all about how you're seen, what are people perceiving you as, and when I say people, I'm not talking about the audience, I'm talking about the industry.
Correct.
We don't, I mean, honestly, the audience is very kind. They love everyone. Okay, or they don't like you for whatever reason, they don't like your work. But they're not there to figure this, you know, किसको ये मिलना चाहिए, किसको ये नहीं मिलना चाहिए.
यार ये वैनिटी से ना मुझे एक quickly एक चीज याद आई.
Okay, now coming to Rajesh ji, Rasika, Shefali. Obviously, every season is intense and it's hard hitting. This one is no different. But I want to say this, and I'm saying this on behalf of all Derek Crime fans. एक तसल्ली मिलती है देखकर. You know, you're back in that universe, and the chemistry, the equation that these three characters have is absolutely beautiful. I want to understand this. You guys are brilliant actors, so I know for you it comes naturally कि हमें ये part play करना है. Of course, on screen, if the character demands, you'll find that chemistry, you'll find that intensity. But you know, you're staying with this character for so many years now. Every time when you get back on set and back into that character, literally in your head, what's something that you have that puts you into that zone immediately? Is it, you know, actors talk about a fragrance or a dialogue or a song or something. What is it for you?
What is it that that
Helps you
comes
capture
from the other actor?
Yeah.
The fact that they are there. I mean, I am I'm extremely proud of the team I have.